Draft expert Shane Hallam shows off his knowledge. Writing mock drafts, prospects from the best college. Breaking down tape, he might develop a man crush. Tearing up guys, taking questions in a rush. Comparisons, learning lessons, Shane saves the day, oy vey. Hulk or Banner, doesn't matter, listen, cause here's who can play.
Today we're going to be introducing a new segment called Top 5 in 5. In this segment, I'm going to tell you my top 5 at a given position in 5 minutes and show you highlight videos of each player. I'm going to do this once before the college football season, then once after it, so we can see what the changes are. And which position are we going to start with? Well, the leaders on the football field, the quarterbacks. In this draft class, the quarterbacks have huge potential, but a lot of players have to have up to par seasons to fulfill that potential. All of my top 5 will have first round talent. The problem is they need to put in a good final season to meet that. So sit back, relax, and enjoy my top 5 in 5 quarterbacks. Number 1, Jake Locker, quarterback out of Washington. Locker has been a leader for a below-mediocre Husky squad for 3 years now. Last year against USC, he had a coming-out party using his great frame of 6'3", 225 to his advantage, and throwing on the run better than anyone in recent history. Now, Locker has solid arm strength and accuracy, but he isn't elite in either category. Now, that being said, he played his first year in a pro-style offense and transitioned with grace, displaying amazing mechanics, awareness, and footwork. With a poor team around him, Locker had to put the team on his back and lead them at times, which shows the type of leadership NFL teams want. He should make improvements with his decision-making this season and spread the ball around. Like most young quarterbacks, he holds onto the ball a bit too long, but when he does decide to throw the ball, it comes out with lightning speed. If he survives the injury bug, Locker should be a top 5 pick in the 2011 NFL Draft. He has the potential to be a franchise-changing player and a Steve Young type at the next level. Worst case, you get a leader, an athlete like Jake Plummer who can be a solid starter with a good team around him. Number 2, Ryan Mallett out of Arkansas. Mallett was originally slated to be a Michigan Wolverine, but the hire of Rich Rodriguez forced the pocket passer to transfer to his southern roots in Arkansas. Physically, Mallett is exactly what you would draw up for a quarterback. He is 6'7", 250 pounds, and has a cannon of an arm, the best we've seen from a college QB since Jamarcus Russell. With the ability to throw a short laser pass or use touch and strength to hit a deep 9 route, Mallett is built for the NFL. The problems with Mallett come with his mid-range accuracy, especially when under pressure. You've seen him make poor decisions, completely miss wide receivers he is targeting, and force balls in places they simply should not go. Mallett is the type of player whose draft stock hinges on this season. If he improves his accuracy and shows he can make the tight, quick throws that win games, he can be a top 5 pick. If a downward spiral happens, see what happened to Jevon Snead this past year. Mallett has potential to be a Drew Bledsoe type of QB, or he could suffer the fate of a Jamarcus Russell. Number 3, Christian Ponder, Florida State. Ponder is a player I need to see more of, but he is cerebral and has the athleticism that can make him a true threat in the NFL. A player who runs the fastest shuttle time of any Florida State Seminole, Ponder can not only be elusive, but he is given free reign of the offense. Like Peyton Manning in Indianapolis, Ponder changes plays often at the line of scrimmage and goes through his progressions like a pro. Ponder's arm strength is below average, which may hurt his chances at being a high draft pick or even a force in the NFL, but you may not find a more polished quarterback in this year's draft. Ponder is the type of player who ends up in the NFL as a starter and seems to find ways to win games and get his teammates behind him. If you want the player who isn't the most physically gifted, but will put in the work and be a top-notch locker room player, then you want Christian Ponder. Number 4, Andrew Luck, Stanford. Andrew Luck has been a fairly divisive prospect so far. Coming from Stanford, where Toby Gerhart reigns supreme, Luck is entering the year as a redshirt sophomore and is unlikely to declare for this year's draft. That being said, there is plenty to like about the developing signal caller. With a 3-to-1 ratio of TDs to interceptions, Luck was able to manage games and make tough throws in the Pac-10 as a first-year college quarterback. His measurables are ideal at 6'4", 235, and for a young gun, his footwork and mechanics are pretty solid. Arm strength appears to be good enough for the NFL, and as young developmental QBs go, Luck has tremendous upside. Despite not making any huge mistakes, reading defenses and finding open wide receivers was difficult for Luck last season. He also struggled with some injury issues that could hinder him at the next level. There's plenty more that Luck needs to show before being a first-round pick, but he does have the potential of a number 1 overall type of prospect. Number 5, Jerrod Johnson, Texas A&M. Johnson is being underrated right now, but he showed flashes last season of an intriguing QB prospect teams may take a chance on earlier rather than later. In his last regular season game against Texas, Johnson had a 79% completion percentage and 4 touchdowns, showing some maturation as a passer. He has great size at 6'5", 240 pounds, and underrated athleticism. Evaluating a quarterback in a spread offense is difficult, but Johnson has showed the arm strength and the accuracy at times to be an effective NFL QB. He just needs to be much more consistent. The decision-making ability is all over the map, depending on the game, though he still doesn't make the major mistakes that cost his team games. With steady improvement each year, if this continues, Johnson will be a very underrated prospect in 2011. He doesn't throw a good deep ball, but could be an excellent short and medium passer. We'll see how this year goes, but Johnson could shoot up draft boards due to his potential and upside.
Looking Indiana by the light switch, who watches over you? Make a little birdhouse in your soul, not to put too fine a point on it. Say I'm the only bee in your bonnet. Make a little birdhouse in your soul. I have a secret to tell.